Maybe at first it helps to take a step back and look at the Algerian economy and the resources that are available in Algeria and why the government may be incentivized to have these price controls. The Algerian economy is quite diverse. In fact, some of the history of Algeria since liberating itself from French colonization has been to be as kind of self-sufficient as possible. Historically, Algeria in the modern era didn't really rely as much on imports. And so a lot of manufacturing was done locally. All of the food growing was done locally. It was able to become more isolated in terms of economics from like the outside world. And so that allowed the currency to develop more independently. Thankfully, the dinar doesn't see the crazy inflation levels that like a lot of other economies see. It's nothing like Argentina or anything like that. Although with any weaker economy that has some foreign debts and relies on money printing, there is some inflation. As a result, the current state of the currency system is that the exchange rate of the dinar to the dollar is maintained by like the regulated financial institutions such as banks. And that's the only place where you can really like perform legal monetary exchange. But the rate is very harsh for anyone who wants it. It's very unfair, basically.
Do gray markets exist for the exchange rate?
Absolutely, yeah. So as a result of that, there are plenty of gray markets. They are actually technically black markets, but we would consider them gray because they're allowed to operate and the government is fully aware of them and in some cases is able to benefit from the transactions that happen in these gray markets. Normally, as a traveler, if you don't want to use the banking system, what you would do is you would bring in US dollars, and then as soon as you get out of the airport, you go to actually like kind of the central government square where like the government is fully aware of what happens there.
It's going on right outside their window.
Literally, yeah. and in fact, they offer some protection too. Like if you get scammed there, like you can almost like go to the government for help because they know that it happens. They get like some kind of rip on it, so they don't crack down on it too hard. But you'd go straight there, convert your dollars to dinars, and then be able to,
So the official rate right now is around 160. Is that right?
Something like that.
What would you say the gray market rate would be?
At least double that.
So it'd be 320 dinars per dollar rather than 160.
Yeah, something like that. And actually, we can look it up because there are even websites that track the daily spot rate on the gray markets that people refer to that live there. So it's all transparent.
Within Algeria, then, from day to day, you guys aren't suffering from hyperinflation. Relative to the dollar, the dinars maybe lost half its value over a 20-year period, which is nothing too extreme for a foreign currency pair. So you guys transact in it pretty regularly. You're going to the markets, you're using cash, you're using credit. Kind of what is the system that you see inside of Algeria and the economy?
Sure. So for most people, there's rarely a need to get out of the dinar, except when like either conducting very large transactions sometimes, or like maybe if you're buying a car, maybe some dealers would prefer to be paid in dollars, especially for imported cars like luxury imports. Basically anything that's of value and imported.
So maybe
more like
big electronic items,
potentially
cars, things like that.
Maybe if you're buying like a phone off the kind of someone who's just brought it in from outside of the country, then maybe you pay them in dollars. Although generally you have the option, like you can pay in dinars as well. It just depends on what.
Now when they're doing the conversion rate on imported goods, are they using the gray market rate or the official rate?
Oh, for sure. Yeah, no one uses the official rate at all. In fact, anyone like, it's the most obvious tell that you're a tourist if you like come in and try to use the official rate. They'll even be like, are you serious? Like, no, that rate is much worse than what it should be.